Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. In my previous video about Ice Cube's interview with Tucker Carlson, I asked the critical question, why didn't Ice Cube go to the Voices of New Black Media to promote his contract with Black America? Now, the reason why I asked that question about Ice Cube's actions in 2020 is because I always believed that Ice Cube not going to the Voices of New Black Media showed me how his whole plan was suspect from day one. Now, I believe that Ice Cube was being disingenuous with his so-called contract with Black America because instead of contacting Black Americans first regarding an agenda that was supposed to be about them, what he did was go out here and first send proposals to President Donald Trump at the time and presidential candidate Joe Biden, and also went out here to the mainstream media to promote his contract with Black America without ever contacting a single Black American regarding this agenda he was planning. Now, I again found that to be quite suspect because, again, when I look at all of the progress being made by the Voices of New Black Media and the Black grassroots, if you were really serious about getting any sort of political change or persuading anybody to vote for a candidate, I would think you would have been contacting the Voices of New Black Media first and looking to build a coalition among the Black grassroots. Now, as Professor Black Truth has pointed out in many of his videos, things in the Black community don't get done with the masses. No, they get done with the Black grassroots. And it's usually the Black grassroots that goes out here and makes much of the inroads as related to making political change. And it's been the Voices of the New Black Media from the grassroots that have been the ones that have really started changing the perspective of foundational Black Americans who used to constantly just vote straight down the blue party ticket until YouTubers like David Carroll started pointing out the issues that Black people should be having as related to the blue party. Now, when David Carroll was alive, he oftentimes tried to tell Black people about the history of the blue party, and he also tried to tell Black people to go out here and look at their votes critically, and he also gave them a solution for solving their whole conundrum as related to politics. Now, David Carroll tried to tell Black people that if you want to go out here and get results in your community, you needed to go out here and create your own agenda, and you needed to create your own agenda that all of you came together and hammered out all by yourselves. That really, again, runs counter to what Ice Cube was trying to do with his contract with Black America, because what Ice Cube was trying to do with his contract with Black America was, one, try to get up in front of Black people, two, try to get up in front of the Voices of New Black Media, and three, wanted to go out here and try to circumvent the entire political process and install himself as a leader, similar to what happened with Barack Obama in 2008, when we got a hand-picked individual presented to us as a representation of Black leadership, but that representation of Black leadership was basically one that was tied to white supremacy and was more loyal to white supremacy than it was to Black America. And that's where I again see the disingenuousness of Ice Cube, because here we have another one of these individuals who comes from the entertainment industry, the media arm of white supremacy, and he's hoping to get in front of Black people and promote his agenda as what he's going to say is going to represent the Black agenda without ever considering to talk to any members of the Black community. Because again, if you got a contract with Black America, I would think you would want to go out here and talk to the members of the Black community in order to get them in agreement with your so-called contract with Black America. Because as I've read in my business law classes back when I was in college in the 90s, a contract is supposed to be an agreement between two people that is based on consideration in as related to the completion of an act. And when I look at the Black community, we never really had a contract with Ice Cube as related to his contract with Black America, and we never really had a contract with Ice Cube as related to his contract with Black America, because he did not go out here and look to consult us first. No, he did not look to go out here and actively consult us and ask us that if we wanted to be a part of this contract. No, what he did was disrespect us by going out here and looking to go out here and say that he's going to represent us to these whites, instead of it being a process where we're the ones who are making the choices as related to what we want to vote for in terms of tangibles. And we don't, and that's where I see the big problem with Ice Cube's contract with Black America. It was a ready-made plan made up by a hustler looking to go out here and looking to try to dictate to us what tangibles we want. And that's where I have the issue with Ice Cube, because again, if he were to have gone to the voices of new Black media and the Black grassroots with his so-called contract with Black America, that's where I believe the voices of new Black media would have basically tore that entire contract up, because that contract was not made on terms by us to get tangibles for us. And as the voices of new Black media began to take critical looks at that contract, they would have looked at that contract and realized that this contract is not one that acts in our best interest, and it doesn't act in our best interest because it was not written by us, it was not created by us. And that's why Ice Cube wanted to go out here and try to slip this contract by going circumventing the entire process as related to getting the Black community on board. What he thought was he was going to use his celebrity to try to get Black support, and what he wanted to do was thought he could get people's emotions riled up to the point where they would go out here and codependently co-sign on this contract with Black America, not looking at the details as related to the terms. Because that's one of the big mistakes that I see with a lot of Black people, is that they get spellbound and caught up in a celebrity's persona. And as they get caught up in that celebrity's persona, they start getting in their emotions and trying to justify the actions of that celebrity without ever thinking critically about this individual's actions. Because this individual, again, if they were genuine about helping the Black community, you would think you would have gone to the voices of new Black media first in order to get the support of the voices of new Black media. And you would think you would try to be building a coalition among the Black grassroots, because it's the Black grassroots that gets things done in the Black community. It is the Black grassroots that goes out here and builds the support for a candidate. It is the Black grassroots that gets an agenda known. It is everything in the Black community is done through new Black media and the Black grassroots, because the new Black media, what it does is it gets the message out there as related to the Black grassroots. And that's what has happened with guys like David Carroll, who again opened the door for Black people thinking about changing their perspective as related to how they vote. And Professor Black Truth, as he talked about Black people getting tangibles for their vote. But when I look at Ice Cube, I looked at him as somebody looking to try to exploit Black people without ever looking to go out here and be genuine about helping Black people. And because some Black folks got caught up in their emotions, they were sitting there thinking, oh, Ice Cube is trying to help the Black community. No, if he was looking to help the Black community, he would have come to the Black community first with his contract with Black America. and he would have come to the black community first as related to working with them towards crafting a black agenda, and he would have worked with the black community towards crafting our candidates and not looking to pander to a pair of candidates who never really were interested in helping black people. No, we would have been looking to go out here and pick our own candidates on the local level as related to going out here and starting to win local offices. And we would have also been out here working towards getting our agenda presented as related to local community issues. We would have been working on that level as related to the grassroots because, again, an agenda is built from the ground up, not from the top down. And an agenda is built from the grassroots of people coming together. That's where, again, I saw the issue with Ice Cube all the way back in 2020, because I know how the political process works from listening to men like Professor Black Truth and the late David Carroll, and listening to them, I was looking at Ice Cube's actions, and I could see the disingenuousness of it, because again, why did he not go to new black media first? Why did he not look to wage his campaign as related to his contract with Black America with Black Americans? Because if a policy is supposed to be for Black Americans, you would think you would want to go out here and get the support from Black Americans first. You would think you would want to go talk to the foundational Black American voting bloc. You would think you would want to talk to foundational Black Americans regarding policies that are going to be made by them, made for them. And you would think you would want to talk to foundational Black Americans regarding how you would want them to vote and what candidates that you would want them to vote for. That would be something that somebody who was ethical would be doing. They would be looking to win support from the demographic that they were targeting. But Ice Cube really had no respect for black people. And because he had no respect for black people, that's why he was looking to go talk to white people first, because he wanted to gain white validation and approval as he looked to install himself as our leader. And he looked to go out here and install himself as our leader, looking to try to be our voice. But the big problem with Ice Cube is we never picked Ice Cube to represent our issues. And that's the thing that flew over the heads of many black people back in 2020 when I made videos trying to call this out. People looked to attack me because they didn't really understand that you have a guy who has the audacity to step in front of you. I don't care if he's a celebrity. When it comes to politics, he needs to respect people. And again, he showed no respect for black people by going out here and stepping in front of us and looking to push his agenda as our agenda. No, you don't have a right to go out here and push your contract with Black America when you have not gotten black people to agree to a single point on that contract. Because again, like I studied in my business law class, a contract is an agreement between two people, and a contract with Black America is a contract that is agreed by all Black Americans, a contract which all Black Americans have a part in. Now, some people will say, oh, black people can't really agree on anything because black people bicker and argue, but we've got to go through that process if we want to have our agenda. And we have to have that process because this is how we hammer out the tangibles that we are looking to get our candidate to represent. This is how we create our platform for getting our agenda laid out. This is how we create our platform for the tangibles we want to get from the government. This is how you create your platform. And again, Ice Cube was looking to circumvent us. And he was looking, and that again shows how disrespectful he is to us. Because if you're looking to circumvent black people because you believe, oh, I'm a celebrity, so I'm going to go talk for those Negroes because they don't really know what they want, so I'm going to tell them what they want, that is a form of disrespect that was directed at black people, but sadly, because so many black people in the black masses are spellbound and caught up in celebrity, they can't tell when somebody is disrespecting them, because that's what Ice Cube was doing when he went out here and got in front of us as related to his contract with Black America. What he was doing was looking to go out here and trying to speak for us, hoping to get a seat at the table at white supremacy, hoping to become a part of the buffer class. And as he hoped to become a part of the buffer class, what he hoped to do was go out here and get his money off the top while black people continue to suffer at the bottom. And that's basically what Ice Cube was looking to do. And people really didn't see how disingenuous and disrespectful Ice Cube was until he sat down with Tucker Carlson. Now, some people will say Ice Cube says he will sit down with anyone, but I just find it suspect that while he says, oh, I'll sit down with anyone, why didn't you go out here and contact the voices of new black media if you say you're going to sit down with anyone? Because that's the other critical question I have to ask. Again, if you say that you're all about looking to help black people, again, why don't you sit down with other black people? Or do you think that you're better than other black people? Another critical question I gotta ask Ice Cube as related to him and his whole platform. Again, you say you'll sit down with anyone, but it seems like you'll sit down with anybody white on the right or the left, but you won't sit down with the voices of new black media and work out a campaign with the black grassroots towards getting black people tangibles. And again, this is where I see the disingenuousness and the dishonesty of Ice Cube. This is where I see how he just, again, basically sold out the black community. Because again, you cannot go out here and represent the black community without actually talking to the black community. I mean, whenever I go out here and I'm looking to go out here and do things like when I want to do my John Haynes at Death Store comic Kickstarter, I started with the black grassroots. And even when I do my SJS Direct books, I start with the black grassroots, and I start with black people first, because if I'm creating positive stories about black people, then I'm going to go to the black audience first. I'm not going to go out here and look to target white people first as related to a story with black characters about the black experience, because that just, again, shows that I'm genuine about looking to help black people. Again, black people who want to help black people go to black people first. They don't do what Ice Cube did and talk about sending proposals to Donald Trump and Joe Biden and the mainstream media regarding a contract with Black America without ever asking black people to agree to that contract. And again, just shows me that a lot of black people really need to start becoming a bit more politically educated and stop being spellbound by these celebrities like Ice Cube, Kanye West, and people like Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Again, these people were the ones who were exploiting our people with gangster rap, exploiting our people by selling poison to our people, and we can't have people who were traitors to the community representing us politically. No, we've got to be the ones who pick our representatives. We have to have a vetting process for picking our representatives, and when it comes to the political process, we cannot go out here and take some ready-made contract made by a person who was exploiting the community with being a part of gangs and drugs and gangster rap. No, we can't go to guys like Ice Cube. They have disqualified themselves from the political process, and that's where we have to go out here and hammer out representatives who have the integrity to go out here and stand up for black interests and put black people first. We have to go out here and look to get with people who want to empower black people. And you can't go to somebody who was looking to be a part of the white supremacist structure in entertainment like Ice Cube, looking for him to create a contract with Black America, because his contract with Black America was one where he wasn't looking to create a contract with us. No, his contract was with white supremacy, which makes his contract null and void with black people, because in order for there to be a contract with Black America, there needed to be an agreement with Black America, and the place you would sell your agreement was New Black Media, because New Black Media was making the inroads with black people as related to messaging. New Black Media was the place where the black grassroots was laying the road for building up political momentum, and New Black Media should have been the place that Ice Cube went to first, but Ice Cube didn't want to go there because, again, he knew that black people in New Black Media would have torn apart all of his talking points. People in New Black Media would have looked at his contract and dissected it. And people in New Black Media would have been thinking critically and not getting emotional about Ice Cube's celebrity status. So that's why he wanted to avoid New Black Media, and he wanted to avoid the black grassroots, because the New Black Media and the black grassroots would have created and would have gone out here and called out all of the disingenuousness as related to his contract. They would have said, okay, where's the reparations? Where is the tangibles? Where is the police reform? Where are all of these policies? And Ice Cube would have not been able to go out here and make any answers, because he would have been exposed for the bootlick he actually is. And that's what we saw with Tucker Carlson. We saw the Ice Cube turn into a snow cone, and we saw how soft and docile the Ice Cube was. He's all hard in the streets with black people, but soft with whites. And that's why he wasn't the one fit to represent us as related to his contract with Black America, because his contract with Black America would have been a screw job. But the thing that would have showed me that it would have been a screw job is his actions in the beginning. Because again, if you're looking to help black people, then why aren't you sitting there talking to black people in an effort to help get them to support your so-called contract? Again, if you want to get something heard by black people, first place you go is New Black Media. But if you don't want to go to New Black Media, that really shows me that there is something suspect about that person. Now, if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, my sorority novel, The Thetas, my vampire novel, Eternal Night, or my business book, A Recipe for Success, or my men's issues books, you can find all those books on Amazon.com right now in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them in other digital formats at other online booksellers, in paperback and other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to see me make more videos about celebrities, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy. It's a sister act as the goddess next door and the devilish diva team up in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy in paperback and e-readers everywhere.
Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.